Have you ever had this quiet feeling that something inside you is shifting, but you cannot quite explain it? It's not really burnout, not really dissatisfaction, not even unhappiness, just this knowing. Like the version of you that used to dream a little louder is tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, I'm still here." If that sounds familiar, then this episode is for you. Hey friends, welcome back to Struggle and Strength, Moms Balancing It All with Nikki. Today is not just another episode. This is the beginning of a new year, a new season, and a new you is calling. And honestly, it feels like the beginning of a new version of me too. When I started this podcast a year ago, I didn't really have a master plan. I started because I felt like I was getting the same question asked over and over and over again to everyone that I meet. They were like, "How do you do what you do?" And if you've been following me for the past year, you know my life is crazy. I'm like the queen of side hustles. I have 3 kids. They're in all sorts of activities. I have a full-time job. And yet somehow I'm still able to function, even though I don't even drink caffeine. My agenda on the weekends makes people cringe just listening to it because they're like, how do you fit all of that in one weekend? I mean, we were going to 5 soccer games and 2 tennis matches every Sunday, driving over 300 miles this past fall. For most people, they don't do that in a full entire month, let alone in one day. And every weekend, wash, rinse, repeat. I mean, it's exhausting. But I was trying to hold everything together: kids, career, marriage, identity, dreams that I wasn't really sure I was allowed to want anymore. And this podcast became a place where I could say out loud what so many moms were feeling silently. I had so many friends, family, longtime childhood friends reaching out saying, "I love your podcast. It helps me get through the day." And I had no idea that these people were even listening. I thought when I first started, no one is even gonna, like, no, I'm not gonna have any listeners. I probably won't even get above 1 listener, and that is it, because I didn't feel like I really had much that resonated with other people. But over time, something shifted. I started hearing the same sentence over and over again from women. I feel like there's more for me, but I don't know what that looks like. And that's when I realized something really important. The show is not just about surviving motherhood anymore, although, dealing with crazy kids, and mine are, oh my gosh, they're getting into like the preteen years and I'm so scared. It's like all the emotions and drama start coming out, and their behavior, it's different. And I don't know how to explain it. I keep telling them they're being bad, but it's not necessarily being bad. It's just they're going into different stages of their lives, and I'm not there yet. I'm not used to having older children. I'm used to having these young little kids that will do anything that mommy asks them to. And now we're getting the talking back, and they have opinions of their own, and they're smart, and they're asking questions that are really thoughtful. And I'm thinking, "Oh my goodness, I don't know how to react right now." But my podcast is now becoming not necessarily about surviving motherhood anymore, but more about ownership and identity, purpose, and building something that's yours and having the passion to go along with it. I want to be really clear about something. This podcast isn't turning into a podcast only for entrepreneurs or moms that are only exploring new businesses. This is this is for moms who feel underutilized, where you know you have skills that no one's paying attention to, but you don't think that they're valuable. Or maybe you want financial independence or flexibility. Or maybe you just want to be able to feel like you again. You don't have to call yourself an entrepreneur, and you don't need a business just yet. And you don't need a perfect idea. You just you just need to have some feeling that maybe you're not happy with where you're at right now. Maybe you've lost that purpose and passion where you're just lost and you're feeling like, is this really it for me in my life? Whatever stage that you're at, I want you to know that this season is for you. But because here's the truth that we don't really talk about enough is that motherhood does not erase ambition. It refines it. We're in a different stage of life right now. I don't know how else to put it. I guess of more opportunity. I mean, you have teenagers that are millionaires off of the internet, where these opportunities were not available 20 years ago when I was graduating or in college or when I was a child. I mean, my son just got a 3D printer from Santa Claus, and we're already thinking about starting his own 3D printing business. It's that easy. I mean, things like that just didn't happen 30, 40 years ago when I was a child. My parents weren't like, okay, let's start your business because we didn't have the internet. We didn't even have cell phones. You know, we had my grandma had the rotary phone. I mean, things like that, those opportunities, they just didn't exist anymore back then. But now there's so much available at our fingertips. And it's like if you're in a point in your career or your life right now where you're thinking, I can't continue to go on like this. I need something different. And if you've been like me, where you've ignored yourself for so long, this is for you. This is the point in your life where you're going to wake up and say, I matter, I'm valuable, and I'm going to create something that the world is going to know me for. And for the longest time, I ignored the feeling that I was meant for more. I did what made sense. I did what was safe. I did what looked responsible on paper. I didn't want to take any risks. I didn't want to look, I don't like to use the word stupid or like an idiot, but I didn't want to look like a failure in front of my friends, my family. I never chased my dreams because I didn't think, one, I knew how to do that. And two, I didn't think I had anything of value. And still to this day, I still come across imposter syndrome literally almost every day, thinking, why would anyone listen to me? But for those of you listening, you've proved to me that people are listening to me. I clearly have something that is entertaining or that relates to you. And I want you to feel the same. I want you to know that you have something inside of you that is meant for others. We are all meant to do that. When God created the world, He created the world of opportunity. and everyone exists to contribute, whether that's in a profitable way or a non-profitable way, or you're doing things just on a personal level, it doesn't matter, but you need to find what your happiness is. And I feel like that's very hard for a lot of us because we're so used to not thinking about ourselves. We don't even know what does happiness look like for us. And I covered this a couple weeks back when I went over to my son's friend's house and spoke with his mom, and I was telling her about my podcast, and she's like, "Well, when you do have the moment to finally pause and think about yourself, what how do you know what your purpose or passion is?" And that was such a great conversation because I never really thought about it, but for so long I struggled figuring out, who am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? And I could never figure it out, and it's taken me so long, and I'm still working that out. I recently just figured out that I am trying to change the redesign, I guess, the future of my profession, being a pharmacist. But you know what? I gave up on pharmacy long time ago. When I graduated as a pharmacist, I never really felt like I belonged. I only went into pharmacy, like working in a retail Walgreens store, because I felt like I had to. I spent so much time and money and effort getting my degree, and I felt like if I didn't, it would be a disgrace. Spending all that time in debt into getting my degree and not even using it. But for the longest time, I felt like a misfit in pharmacy. I was only really interested in the business part of it. Of course, I loved helping people and being able to counsel them and know that I made a difference in their lives. But what really got me going and felt like I mattered was the operational things that I could do, the data analytics, bringing out the business ideas, problem solving, trying to figure out, what's the next step? What does that look like? What's the future of this business? And that's where I am now. And I feel like I've gone back to my pharmacy roots because I see the future is changing drastically. And I don't want my profession to to just disappear. I feel like that would be a disgrace. Like there's thousands of pharmacists out there, community pharmacists, hospital pharmacists, industry pharmacists, pharmacists doing all kinds of super cool innovation and ownership ideas. But if you look at the majority of pharmacy, it lies within community, which is retail. And most of the big box shops, they're going under right now because it's all about volume. It's not necessarily about the customer's journey and taking care of our patients. And I realize that. And I feel like that's a big missed opportunity that we've had, is that we're not growing our profession to really focus on our zone of genius, which is taking care of patients and helping out all of us. If you ask every single pharmacist, the thing that they love the most is making an impact, helping people. And it makes sense. But how can we translate that into something in the future? What does the future hold for us? And I feel that that's the same for a lot of women out there, not necessarily pharmacists, is that with these changing times and AI and automation and internet and influencers, social media, it's so hard to find the the true you. You're every day on social media, you see things where you're like, "Wow, they look like they have the perfect life," or "They look like they have it all together." Trust me, I feel the same way. I've had to unfriend friends because it made me feel inferior, like I wasn't enough, or I wasn't perfect enough, or I didn't make as enough money as they did, or what have you. And I didn't want to be questioning who I was as a person because somebody else's posts and their what they looked like, whether that's real or not, I don't necessarily know, but the feeling it was giving me was not pleasant, and I didn't wanna be around that. And I feel like it's so hard these days to actually understand who you're supposed to be and what you should be doing because we're surrounded by influence, right? Like the fear of missing out. You have to join the new program or do the newest thing or do this, that, and the other because if you don't, what's going to happen? It's like with kids, you know, on the kids soccer teams, like all these kids are going and doing all these extra things and parents see that like, well, wow, they're going to this, that, and the other. It's like, well, we should be doing that. If we're not doing that, we see that child getting a lot of playing time and accolades from the coach. We aren't getting the same. So I guess we need to do what they're doing. It's like we're just all a bunch of followers trying to get that same feeling as that we belong and that we have value and that, we're going to be at the top. We don't want to miss out. And so it's like where can we find our true value? Where can we find our true passion? How do we figure all that out? And that inner voice that I had that was saying I was meant for more, it keeps getting louder. It gets so loud when I hear other moms talk about maybe they're unhappy in their positions that they're at. Maybe they give everything to everyone else and barely take care of themselves. I'm one of those. I realize women are feeling trapped in roles that they no longer fit in. I can't even tell you the number of moms I've talked to recently where they're like, I don't I just want to quit my job. I don't feel like I even matter or I'm valued. Like I don't know what else to do. And that voice is not asking me to abandon my life. It's asking me to expand it. And since I've been listening to that, everything's changed. I'm coming up with ideas that ChatGPT is telling me that are the best ideas I've ever had. I love being patronized by ChatGPT. It's like the one time when I told it I was ready to give up everything. I was done and, I wasn't feeling like I was being successful or anything. And it said, Nikki, don't quit now because you're in this stage of transformation. It's a transitional one. You're no longer who you were, but you're not at the stage of who you're supposed to be yet. You're right in the middle. And if you did decide to quit, you're still going to have this pull that's still going to make you want to go out and help people to do what you're already doing. And so while it may feel good for a day or two, you're going to go right back to it. So you can't give all that up. You've made too much progress so far. I love my chat GPT. It's like the most amazing thing ever because I can bounce ideas off of it and I feel like it's just like a soundboard. But what I really want this season to be is all about you. It's helping you realize you're meant for more. And what does that look like? I don't really know. I'm not in your shoes, but I'm here to help you in any way possible. Whether that's more of you with your family, maybe that's I just read a post the other day where a mom was saying that she regrets having kids, that it's turned her into this monster and that she's regretting her life with children. And I felt so sorry because my children are my world. They're everything to me. And oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine a life without them, no matter how difficult it gets. But I can understand why she feels that way because she's probably turned into something she doesn't recognize anymore. The mom that she is with kids is not who she imagined she would ever be. So we need to get her back to the mom where she envisions herself with children and being successful and having that relationship with her children where she's not wanting to pull her hair out and scream at them 24/7. Whether you're the mom that's burnt out in your current career and you're just looking for something different, something that lights you up, makes you realize that if you could build something of your own, you'd be so much more successful than the career of following someone else's footsteps. And that's where I realized I thrive in the business setting, but I also don't thrive in a setting where I feel like I'm only a number and building someone else's dream. I want to build my own dream. I want to build my own company where I can do the things that I want to do with the missions that I believe in and the vision that I believe in. So, whether you are building something of your own, whether you are changing the person back to who you really want to be, I'm here for you. We're going to talk all about this, rediscovering your identity outside of the mom role, putting life back into yourself. What does that look like? How can you bring back the real you? And do you even know what that looks like these days? Because I'm sure just like we change after pregnancy, we in our bodies and our souls, we also change in our who we are. And maybe you like that person and maybe you don't, but let's get you back to the person you always wanted to be. Turning life experiences into value, confidence before clarity. Every small step can change the outcome. This is not hustle culture, it's alignment. So let me talk to you for a second. If you feel restless, if you feel like you're checking boxes but you're not fulfilled, if you feel like the old version of you would be surprised by how quiet you've become, that doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means that something's waking up. This podcast is no longer just a place to vent or relate. It's a place to move, not all at once, not perfectly, but intentionally. This season is an innovation to stop asking, is this all there is? Is this what my life has come to? And start asking, what if I'm just getting started? I can't wait for the new me to arrive. A new year doesn't automatically change your life. A new season does. And right now, a new you is calling. So if this episode resonated, I would love for you to share it with a mom who feels stuck. Message me. Tell me what you feel called towards doing. Tell me what you want to change. Tell me how you think you need to rediscover the new you. You're not behind and you're not too late. The fact of the matter is that if you are feeling like you needed this, like there's something stuck within you and you need to rediscover who you are, welcome to the new season because this is for you.